Hello and welcome to my playthrough of Final Fantasy Tactics. This is the 12th story battle of the game, Zirekile Falls. We're still in a bit of a weird stretch here, where I can get carried by really powerful guest characters and take kind of not-so-good teams. Although this time I'll have to take a slightly more serious approach than I did last time, because it's not quite so trivial. Now, if you thought Gafgarian and Agrius were ridiculously powerful, Delita is going to take that a notch up. Like Agrius, he has the Holy Sword ability, but he has more of those abilities, so he is so ridiculously strong in this match that he can take out most of the three knights in front of him without any help whatsoever. Most of the time, and I've played this a few times due to some audio glitches that forced me to re-record, most of the time, he takes two of them out, and one of them runs away down through the water area and tries to get at my guys. But for the most part, you can just completely leave him alone, and nothing bad will happen. I actually have seen him lose his sword to a weapon break, and he was still fine, and he was still contributing relatively well by punching guys. So, you know, even with that, he's just that powerful. On the other hand, we've lost Gafgarian for this fight. Although, since I have removed all his gear and turned him into an archer, a class for which he has no skills, I don't expect him to be much of a threat. And that is part of why this is kind of an easy fight. If you don't know it's coming, Gafgarian's betrayal is a problem. But once you do know, because you've played through the game once, then removing his gear trivializes his contribution to his team. Also, I suppose I should say, have Ovelia, although I don't really count her because she doesn't really do anything offensive. She's going to cast M-Barrier on herself, and... oh, actually, here's... yeah. This guy loves to try to break Delita's gear. And apparently we've got a Geomancer on that side. Anyway, as I was saying, Ovelia will just try to keep herself alive, but otherwise will stay out of the fight as much as possible. And throw stone. Okay, these guys are a little less threatening than usual, to be honest. Now this guy... oh, and he's going for the break. Oh, and he misses. That guy is always going to move in and try to beat Ovelia, from what I can tell. But because of her position, she can only be hit by him. She could theoretically also have gotten hit by Gafgarian, but of course I changed his gear and his class so that he can't do anything. Agrius is probably going to do most of the heavy lifting on this side, although her AI doesn't seem too bright. She dances around in the pool down here while using her Holy Sword on the guys up on the platform up there. So I'm going to send Timothy in to be the melee presence up there and to try to create some space between those knights and Ovelia. No stop this time. She's not trivializing the fight quite yet. But of course I do have an Oracle. I've kept Suzanne as an Oracle because she's just a few points short, and I'd rather not make her an Oracle later, so best to get it done now, and then she can worry about the slightly more useful classes that will qualify her for being a calculator. So now I can move Timothy in, and the advantage of standing right here is that I can plug up the bridge, which means that the two fights are basically separate. Timothy could get attacked from both sides while doing this, which would be unfortunate, but I'd be a bit surprised if they rush towards him, given that Delita is kind of holding down the fort on the far side. And we do get a lot of dialogue in this fight. It's one of the more plot-intensive ones. This is basically setting up Delita for the second half of the game. Now, I'm still preaching to Ilya because I'm in the process of transitioning her to a caster. I didn't get nearly enough faith points out of the Goblin Forest, so I'm just going to keep doing it here. However, Ilya herself is going to be kind of useful, and let me move the Ramza here. I'd like to get a haste on the two of them, so a spot where they're on the same level like this is probably ideal. And Ilya will actually be able to cast this time. I'm going to use her to Well, first I'm going to use her to haste Ramza because I need him to preach as often as possible. But I'm also going to be able to use her to actually cast summons, and mostly just to heal my guys, because they will take a fair bit of damage from these knights before I get them done. Oh, but the paralyze is going off, so realistically, only the other knight is a threat now. Gafgarian might be able to punch for a reasonable amount, but he's got such low HP that I think he'll take off with after 1, maybe 2 hits. And Delita comes in here with Crush Punch, which has a chance of death, although it didn't work there. But as you can see, he could have 2-shot this guy if he doesn't 1-shot him. Whoa. Ovelia decides to go all aggro on the knight. That will actually help a bit. 24 is not an inconsequential amount of damage, given just how little my thief is hitting for. And more dialogue. Yet more preaching. Apparently making him a time mage made him slightly better at this, although that was a miss. And 21 is actually a fair amount of damage, so I'd like to get Gafgarian out of here if I can. He'll vanish as soon as he hits critical range. He doesn't need to be finished off. Yeah, so I will plant a cure on Timothy over there. That should work out. Just keep trying the brakes. Oh, maybe I was wrong. That guy looks like he might charge at Timothy. And given how much damage he's taking from the others, I'm not sure I want that. Still, I think between my Oracle and my Summoner, I can probably keep him up. Oh, 36. Might need to heal him a lot. Oh, I think... Yes, they arranged themselves perfectly for this. So they were basically asking for it. 45 to Gafgarian might be enough to convince him to leave. Yes, okay. That will make things a bit easier. 61. He's taking a fair bit of damage. And he can get rid of this guy. Although he is stopped, but no use in letting him hang around. So I'm going to keep him on the bridge because I don't want anyone crossing, because Ovelia is now 100% safe, and that's really the one thing that can go wrong here. I would like to catch both my Oracle and my Thief with this heal, but it just doesn't seem to be happening for me. And I guess... we'll just cast it directly on him. I have lamented in the past the inefficiency of using a Summoner for healing when it's only one guy you need to heal, but I finally have enough MP that I don't think it's really going to impact this fight. So Ovelia's taking off now. So she'll be completely fine. And more preaching. I'd rather do it all up front rather than slowly drag it out over the course of many, many fights. This guy actually has 162 HP, so he's going to be a bit of a tough nut. Or not! There's that death I was talking about. So we're actually already down 3 guys. Gafgarian and the 2 knights. So I think... No, I don't need to haste Ramza again. Do I move anyone? Yeah, she's taking damage. probably the best option. That knight down there is kind of scary. If he runs across and starts hitting my casters, it could be a bit of a problem. Alright, so this guy is charging at my thief. Although 16 damage is not that scary. Paralyze is going to take forever. It's not worth it. Everyone will move before she can cast it. Yeah, and he's one of the guys that moves, so definitely not worth trying to re-paralyze him. I think what I'll do is I'll move up here and then land a cure on both her and my thief. And I guess I'll just gamble that this guy isn't going to hit for more than 55, which seems kind of reasonable. I think the most they've hit before is 36 on Timothy. Might be a little while getting rid of the guy on the bridge if he keeps blocking. This is actually going a lot better than the last fight. Ramza seemed to be hitting at about 50%. Here he seems much higher. That looked really impressive, but I think there was only the 16 damage on the summoner. Which, oh, never mind. Was going to say it's instantly being reapplied. So that's why I didn't attack. You couldn't actually get across. Whoa, wait a whoa. 105. Okay. That is more than I expected. Agrius will have that guy in critical range. Which is good, because the other guy seems to hit like a truck. I'm really glad I paralyzed him, actually. That's a ridiculous amount of damage. And... oh, okay, he's hitting that. Oh, and he did get the death effect again. So the guests are once again trivializing the fight for me. We've only got one guy left. I have lost my Oracle, but I think if we rush the guy down below... although, Ramza only has haste, so I'm going to keep up with the preaching, because, I mean, that's what I came here to do, and I don't think he's going to hit for much, although I probably should do something. So I'll have her hit for 6 damage. Still, that's low enough that I think... yeah, so he can finish this knight, and then Agrius can finish the knight down there, and we'll be fine. The Oracle is not going to tick out. Yeah, we're in fine shape here. Unless Agrius does something unexpected. Or, okay. Well, that's fine too. I mean, I guess I'd prefer that the fight was over, but at least I'm not going to lose my Oracle. I will celebrate by continuing to preach. One more turn with which to raise her faith. Actually, I might get another if I'm lucky. Yeah, it looks like Delita is too far out to do anything. Timothy might be able to get down there and kill him. Let's take that. Yep, just enough. Or not. So many blocks in this fight. And yeah, we can get everyone, so that's the right choice. And maybe I can paralyze him. No, that would hit Ramza, and I don't want to do that. So cure time on herself. I think pretty much everyone but Agrius is gone, though, so once Agrius comes around, this guy is probably done. Or maybe Delita. Yeah, this is going to finish it for sure. There we go. Alright, so that's Zirekile Falls. Again, still riding the guests. That will change next fight. I still have 2 guests in that one, but one of them is Mustadio, so we're talking a moderately powerful guest instead of a ridiculously powerful guest. Should actually be something of a challenge.